Hello, welcome to Carnivore Wellness. My name is Rebecca. Today I want to share with you a life lesson that was delivered to me both last night and this morning. It is in line with healing the inner child and what it takes to really get to a place of full self-love and acceptance. That is where I am in my personal journey. I am really doing a lot of heavy lifting around how to love myself fully and how to accept myself fully in all the iterations that I am. So much easier said than done. And so that's why the universe has decided to grace me with opportunities to gain awareness of the places of my heart that still need healing. So I have two young children. My daughter, she is 6 years old, and that girl is a gift. She is and has been such a mirror to me in so many aspects of my life. We're way more similar than we are different. I didn't ever expect that in my child. I kind of figured, oh, she'll be her own person. We may be nothing alike, but we are just very similar. And so as she expresses herself as a child, it brings up so much in me of the ways maybe that I did express myself or wanted to express myself. She's a little mirror for me, and I appreciate all the lessons that I learned in seeing my behaviors reflected back at me. So in part of doing a lot of this, work of self-love, self-acceptance, and really trying to grow into that place in my life, I've been doing a ton of journaling. And I sat down and journaled on this experience. And honestly, I think I'm just going to share it in that form. So let me know what you think of this format, hearing my little journaled thoughts. And in fairness, I did write it potentially with the idea that I might share it. And now that it's on the page, I feel like, yes, this message is one that I do want to share and I think might be valuable. So here goes. Last night, I found myself triggered by my daughter's bedtime complaint of growing pains in her foot. It was late, she was tired, 9:30, past bedtime. She'd already gotten upset about losing a pearly bead that we meant to sew back onto a pair of her denim shorts. And so I already knew the stage was set for her to find something that was bothersome. She was letting herself get worked up. And she declares this sudden pain right as I can see the day's end in sight. I got exasperated, breathy, huffy, and told her she was fine and to just go to sleep and move past it. She insisted that it was painful and asked for some icy hot cream. I dug my heels in and she did the same. As her negotiations for cream continued, I felt my irritation swell. I had to get up. I walked out to Brett, my husband, to vent about the ridiculousness of her request while acknowledging that I was being unreasonably triggered. I came out here and I said to him, I know it shouldn't bother me so much, but I am so irritated I can't be in the same room. I feel like I'm about to lose it. Why is it bothering me so much? Why is this triggering me? I'm past the point that I can handle it. Okay, so he agreed that because she was tired and she should get over it, but he understood that it was ridiculous. Yes, on its face, the situation's ridiculous. There's probably no pain. She's just irritated and, feeling emotional already. She's tired. She needs to go to sleep. But we know our daughter. I went back to her room to tuck her in, kissed her goodnight, and walked out. She screamed bloody murder. I detached. I wasn't having it. I headed back to my room. As the hollering continued, I shuffled through the vanity drawers to find the icy hot. Walked back out to the dining room where she was wailing to my husband. Without a word, I tossed the tube of cream onto the table and walked back to my room without further word. No more I love yous, good night, feel better. Couldn't muster it. A calm exterior to mask the tension and irritation coursing through my body, knowing I was not in a centered enough place to speak calmly and without that spiky judgment. I let Brett handle the rest. Cream applied, she settled right down. Turns out that is exactly what she needed. As I lay in bed, waiting for him to join me, I kept trying to figure out why I'd gotten so upset. What is this trigger? Why is this so bothersome to me? Why did I let the situation get so explosive? I thought back to the video I recorded the day before, about recognizing how triggers are pain points for self-love that need healing. But I couldn't connect the dots in the moment last night. Perhaps I was just too heated. My limbic system was too riled up. I couldn't connect the dots. I simply accepted that she and I were cut of the same uniquely persistent and highly sensitive cloth, and that I'd need more decoding before I could really figure out the insight of this triggering situation, aka I slept on it. This morning, the scene returned to my mind and I tried to tease it apart. My daughter had felt discomfort, asked for a reasonable and readily available solution, and I denied her request. It was inconvenient to walk across the house, find the cream, apply it, and thoroughly wash my hands, because the icy hot, it gets a little tingly, taking contacts out, you don't want to get that stuff in the wrong spot. It does tingle. I could have simply said yes, albeit begrudgingly, and she would have felt seen, heard, and cared for just before drifting off to dreamland. Instead, I told her how her body should feel, dismissed her request, and firmly planted my feet in resistance, though ultimately obliging to her in a roundabout passive-aggressive way. Wow, wow, wow. What a model to my child in conveying the sense that because her bodily pain was inconvenient to me at the time, she should deny it. What in the hell kind of broken pain pattern is that, of denying her physical bodily experience? Do I really want to be complicit in teaching my daughter to make herself small and compliant at the cost of her own attunement to her physical, and let's face it, in this moment, emotional needs to be cared for and loved? Do I really want to deny her that? Where in my past has my discomfort denied by others for the sake of convenience and conflict avoidance? I can think of so many times where I've made myself small because it was inconvenient for me to express pain or heavy feelings or whatever kind of discomfort I was feeling at the time. And each and every time, that messaging communicated to me that I was not worthy of having my experience honored. Wow, here it is, the nugget of self-denial that has been patterned and programmed into my own psyche. There's clearly a part of me that doesn't feel fully empowered to express my pain and discomfort, likely for fear of rejection, just as I'd neglected her in her moment of discomfort. So, now I see that I have some work to do around communicating challenging feelings. Yes, I am typically okay with sitting in and processing hard feelings alone. But just because I learned to navigate those hard things on my own doesn't mean that's the best way to process. Imagine how much more loved and accepted I'd feel if I were able to share life's heavy burdens with others with an openness to receive love and acceptance, as opposed to hiding them away out of fear of rejection. That is my soul's deepest fear. I know this. Fear of rejection is the thing that keeps me from living in my power. And here it is, highlighted by this triggering situation with my daughter. It is one of my most fervent desires that she avoid the self-denial I've practiced most of my life. I'm working on that now. That's why I'm doing this healing work, because I don't want those patterns to continue. I want her to fiercely stand in her truth, advocate for herself, and trust her inner knowing. I just put her down. It says, I just put her down for a nap. But as I'm journaling, I now see clearly that an apology is in order. In life, in parenting, mistakes are inevitable and even valuable to the learning process. But when there's been a rupture in the relationship, then it should be followed by repair. It is in the repair, the I'm sorry, and the forgiveness that follows that allows us to grow in relationship with each other. I may not always respond in the heat of the moment as I would like, but I owe it to myself and those I love to take the time to draw awareness to my shortcomings and ask myself how I can use it as an opportunity to facilitate personal growth. That's what this journaling experience was doing for me in reflecting this and drawing awareness to it and picking out the parts and pieces of really why that situation escalated so quickly and out of nowhere, and why did I have such an outsized reaction? Well, there was a pain point there, and I had to go uncover it. What a blessing my little mirror, my daughter, is in my life. I love her deeply, and in the same way I never want to deny her the love and acceptance she deserves, I know I need to extend that same love and understanding, especially around communicating discomfort and or pain points, both physical and emotional, to myself. I love you, Rebecca. You are worthy of full love and acceptance, no matter the experience. That is what I wrote in my journal. And honestly, some of those insights didn't come out until I started writing. I had a vague idea of, I've learned from this lesson and I need to journal it, but I really got into the meat of it in that little journaling entry, and it's powerful. It's subtle, it's simple, but it's powerful. My fear of rejection in the sharing of hard feelings and discomfort came up because there was a part of me that said, well, when I was a kid, I had to buck up. I had to, just deal with it, and you should too. Well, should is a shame word. And no, she's 6 years old. She shouldn't have to carry the weight of the world, especially the weight of her world. Like I mentioned, she's a very highly sensitive, deeply feeling person. She has more empathy and compassion for others than you see in most grown humans. She's radiant with her spiritual gifts of being present and being attuned to others and herself. I do not want to participate in, like I said in this entry, I don't want to participate in teaching her to be small, to deny herself, to make herself convenient for others, because you know what, we're done with that. I'm working so hard to leave that in the past. Why would I want to burden her with that as she continues to grow? No, I want to give her the gift of freedom, of living in her fullness and living in her power, because that's what I want for myself. That's what I want for everyone. That's what allows us to be the full expression of who we are. So when she wakes up from nap, I will apologize just very simply and say, honey, last night, I know we've moved past it already, but I just want to let you know I'm sorry, and my reaction wasn't fair to you, and you deserve better. You deserve to feel seen and heard and loved and validated in moments of not feeling good. And thank you for telling me you weren't feeling well, and thank you for coming up with a reasonable solution. And I'm really sorry that I let my irritation get in the way of doing what was best for you in that moment. I love you. And that's about how that apology will go. And you know what? She's so gracious. I know she'll forgive me. I know she'll give me a big hug. She won't think much about it. But I do know, too, because I know her spirit, it will make us just that much more close. Anytime we have a rupture in our relationship, which is truthfully, it happens. It happens on a pretty routine basis because I'm human and she's human. And sometimes our humanness just butts up against each other. But that's okay, because each and every time there's that rupture followed by repair, we get to that new place in our relationship where there's deeper understanding, deeper trust, and hopefully sets the stage for her in those future moments of me not showing up as my best centered, loving self. Hopefully she knows, okay, Mama's having a rough go of it right now, but I know she loves me and accepts me, and therefore I love and accept me too. And so now I've got to do some work for me personally on sharing hard things, and as they're happening, not just waiting until I've picked out the lovely solution and can distill it down into this beautiful little, oh, here's your life lesson. I really should give myself love in knowing that I don't have to always process the hard things myself. I don't have to always keep my discomfort within. I am able to share it. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go out and start sharing all my problems with everybody all the time, but you know what I mean. There are times when there are things that are just really hard and heavy, and it helps to have others to lean on. So, yeah. You know what? And for whatever reason, I'm feeling called to say this right now. The thing that I'm struggling with in this moment that I don't have the beautiful answer to yet is I just got a family text earlier today saying that my grandmother, 91 years old, who's been living independently and is just a radiant woman, kind-hearted, always listening, enjoying sitting on her back porch, listening to the birds, always volunteering and taking care of others, and just such a such a beautiful example of a person who has lived in their fullness and in their power, bringing their gifts to their community. She had a fall yesterday. She's at the hospital. I don't know more details. But I had a missed call from her the other day, and I didn't call her back, and that feels really, really icky. Oh, it feels icky right now. I'm sure y'all can relate. We've all had moments like that. Things that come up that are just hard. So that's mine. That's mine right now. Thank you for letting me share that burden with you. Thank you for giving me the space and the opportunity to walk the talk. Yeah. So, in all of this, let me just say I have created a small community of very loving, very encouraging, supportive people. We meet weekly, Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We get together. We provide that space for one another to share in the challenges that we may have, either as we progress in carnivore or maybe it's related to some other aspect of life, like this one. We just hold that space for each other to share and communicate and share those burdens because we don't have to do it alone. We are all worthy of love. We are all worthy of acceptance, even in our hard feelings. Yeah, we are. And in this new journey, this new path of me really coming into this place of really trying to get to those parts and pieces that still need love and acceptance. I'm thankful that this situation with my daughter occurred the other night. And even in this moment, I am thankful for the opportunity to share the heaviness that's on my heart as related to my grandmother. Thank you. Thank you for that space. That is the kind of space that I have created in the carnivore wellness community. If you would like to join, please, by all means, you are absolutely welcome. I'd love to have you. I know the other members in the community would love to welcome you with open arms as well. You are invited to be in that space with us. All you need to do is go to carnivorewellness.kit.com and put in your email into the email list. I send that email out once a week. I don't bombard you with stuff. Otherwise, it's just a link to a Zoom call, absolutely free. Show up as you are, share where you are, and you'll be met with love and acceptance because that's what we all deserve. We have to extend it to ourselves so that we can extend it to others. And in this experience of me realizing that I had not extended that love and acceptance to myself of sharing discomfort and hard feelings, I was able to realize that that's how I was denying it to my daughter, and that's why that pain point and that trigger point showed up so prominently last night in a very outsized reaction on my behalf. So there it is. There's my life lesson. There's my story. There's this is the real time progress of doing the healing work. It's worth it. I'm worth it. You're worth it. I love me. I love you. I know you love you. So let's get back into that remembrance and let's continue to hold each other up in love and acceptance fully as we are. I'll see you next time.